What's up, party people? I feel like that's the most gender neutral term that I could use, and I've really come to enjoy it. So I'm just going to keep it rolling. Welcome to Saturdays and Seltzers. My name is Kendra Middleton. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Sarah Griffin. Sarah, how are we doing? I feel like you've had a fantastic week outside of obvious things that we'll talk about.
I have had a great week, actually. I'm a little burnt out from work, but other than that, I have had a good week.
Yeah, you've got mad dubs as far as your favorite athletes to come in your HLH, so I feel like you are thriving.
I really am. In that sense, yeah.
If you don't know who Jordan is Sarah's roommate, one of our girlfriends, and she tweeted the other night, obviously we're going to talk about and catch up on all the NHL Stanley Cup stuff, but she was like, I don't know how Sarah's still breathing after all of this excitement. And I was like, dude, I do not know. Incredible. So if you are new here, we do a segment called HLH where we talk about our high of the last week, low of the last week, and our hero, which is something unexpected that happened to us that was good. Sarah has a lot of her stuff in her HLH. So Sarah, what is yours?
Okay, well, my high and my hero both kind of mix in. So obviously my high is the Colorado Avalanche, our Stanley Cup champions. Very big day. And then that kind of ties in. I have another high, but I'll get to that because it's another favorite athlete of mine. And then my hero is Cale Makar, our sweet baby boy.
Our sweet boy.
Stanley Cup champion, just to add on to the Norris, Hobie Baker, national champion at NCAA. Our sweet little boy. It's just racking him up.
Yo, okay. I didn't really talk about this as much as I feel like I should have. I picked the Avs in our preseason show to win the Stanley Cup, and I feel like I haven't told people to suck my dick enough over it yet, but yeah, I feel really good about that.
I know, I'm kind of pissed because in my bracket, I think I would have had pretty much a perfect bracket if it wasn't for picking the Panthers to be in the Stanley Cup, because other than that, I had the Rangers, I had all that, right?
Yeah.
I did have the Bruins getting past the first round, but other than that,
you wrote the Rangers really well.
Go Rangers.
Go Rangers. Andy Towers loves the Rangers, so do we.
Who's your head coach?
Yeah, hell yeah. For what, one season?
Yes.
All right. What else? What was your other high and your low?
So my other high, it was just announced today. This is obviously not a surprise to anyone. It was pretty much already before the season even started. It was evident it was going to happen. Jeff T, Rookie of the Year in the NLL. Another big day for the brand.
Yeah, he is. Bussin'.
Bussin' King.
Bussin' King. All right, what was your low?
Okay, so my low was, I talked all that shit about my ex last week on this show. And then I guess I kind of deserved this. One, it was just karma for talking all that shit. But two, I went out and selfie. So what did I think was going to happen? Obviously saw him. Obviously it was fucking terrible. And my anxiety was
Sarah was texting me from the bar and I was like, you did not just see him. And she goes, no, I did.
It was just not the night I was looking to have. I ended up having fun. I was with my friends, obviously, but yeah, not ideal.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to spill, but I think that you handled it perfectly. I don't think you could have done any better.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. I'm not one to really stand my ground, but I think I was, maybe just because I was drunk, I'm
so proud of you. I told you when it happened, and I will tell you again. I think that you handled that perfectly, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a pretty good week.
Yeah, shit happens, but it's at least you got the last word. Whatever, fuck it. So my HLH, my high, I have somewhere to live next year. Can I get? I wasn't expecting to have to move, but I do, which is why my office is such a mess. You guys can't see it if you're watching this on YouTube, but I have moving boxes are so expensive for no reason. So I'm saving on my Amazon boxes. I don't really care if my office is a mess. Reduce, reuse, recycle,
Mm-hmm.
So I have somewhere to live next year. I love the apartment. I love the location. Only complaint is laundry is like on site, but not on site. It's like a couple houses over. So like whatever.
Oh, that's like here.
Yeah, which sucks, but you know, you give and you take when you live in the city for real. I'm thinking about getting like a laundry service because it's a lot cheaper than I thought it would be. So we'll see. My low, I obviously had COVID last week, which is why we didn't have a show and my voice isn't completely back yet. And like I'm just tired. Like I'm just, have you had COVID?
Knock on wood, no.
Dude, I lived 2.5 years without getting COVID. And honestly, I can't imagine I don't know. I don't care what your stance is on vaccines. I cannot imagine not being vaccinated because I was so sick for like 48 hours.
Ugh.
I didn't lose my taste or smell though, so that's good.
Oh, that is good.
Obviously, yeah, I think we have like sort of a joint low on the Roe v. Wade situation. Like I have just been indescribably upset like all week. I haven't been able to like focus on a whole lot other than that. Like it just sucks, especially being like a woman from the South, and like having friends and family and loved ones and like all that kind of stuff. It's been like a tough week for that. But my hero is Jabari Smith. Avoided going to Orlando. He was not taken first overall, but he wound up going to Houston, which I think is an awesome fit for him. I love the city of Houston. Like I'm so stoked for Jabari Smith. Honestly, my hero in general was just kind of, I don't know how much of the NBA draft you watched or if you saw any clips or anything, but just like, I don't know what it is about the NBA. I mean, I think I do maybe, but the appreciation that NBA players show their moms when they get drafted is just incredible. Like, and it's so emotional, but also like this year was really special because a lot of moms who had first round draft picks as children are former WNBA players who were in the crowd and with their kids and stuff like that. So like this year was extra special, but like, I don't know what it is about the NBA draft, but I cry every year watching these kids hug their moms.
I've never watched the NBA draft. I don't think I've ever seen. Maybe I've seen some clips on social media, but
I know that you don't give a flying fuck about basketball, but I think that your soft side, which is all of you, would love the NBA draft.
Oh, I definitely would. I would definitely bawl my eyes out watching it.
Yeah, I think me and Jordan should make you watch it next year. I think that would be really fun. So yeah, that's my HLH. I don't know. Like this week's just been like so. I don't know. This week's just been fucking something else, man. As you know, we are now an anti-baseball podcast, but we do have to talk about Freddie Freeman going back to Atlanta because that was, even if you're not a baseball fan, like whenever stuff like that happens, I just feel like it's a special moment for sports in general.
Well, I just feel like it got ruined by the whole thing with his agent. Did you see all that stuff?
I did, but like I'm not as deep in baseball Twitter as you, so I feel like I just saw people were pissed off and I don't really know why.
Well, so, okay, I guess his agent, he ended up firing him after they went to Atlanta because that was his return. He found out that the Braves made him another offer, like not the initial offer he heard about, and his agent didn't tell him because I think he makes more money if he ended up going to the Dodgers. And Freddie found that out while he was in Atlanta, so he got like pissed. That's why he looked so upset when he was there and ended up firing him, and now he's just like representing himself. But I'm just wondering, like, is that even legal? Like, there has to be, like, that's breaking some sort of law, no?
It has to be. I did not hear that, and I'm shocked because I follow more Braves fans on Twitter than Red Sox fans or Giants fans, just because that's where everyone in Jacksonville chooses to support. Holy fuck, that has to be illegal. Also,
I think so.
If I were Freddie Freeman, I would be in jail right now because I would have beat that guy's ass. Like,
and like people are like, oh, well, he would be on the Braves right now then. And like, I guess we don't know that for sure because it seems like obviously they really did like having they have now, Matt Olson on first base in Braves. Obviously that worked out for them, but yeah, like he was very dedicated to the organization. It's clear that's where he wanted to be at the end of the day. I feel like they would have made it work somehow. And if they made this final offer, then it sounds like he would have taken it.
But also, like, when you think about Freddie Freeman, and it's like he's definitely in the second end of his career. Like, I don't think that people expect him to be Freddie Freeman for fucking, I don't know, 5 more
like
years.
10 more years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, at that point, like, you've made the money, you've been there long enough, you have kids, you have a wife, you have a house. Like, you at a certain point, one, take a pay cut to keep you and the guys together if you really think you've got something special going on, and 2, to keep your family comfortable in where they are and your kids at their school, not changing their routine, their friends, your wife's routine and friends. Like, it's just, there's certain things that, like, as a person and as a couple and as a family, that you should have to talk about if you have the privilege to do so.
Yeah.
So that's so fucked. I did not know that.
And I guess his agent, or I guess former agent now, also represents like Clayton Kershaw. And I don't know what comments Clayton Kershaw made. Someone said that it was taken out of context or something, but it sounded like it was kind of like against Freddie. So I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact they had the same agent or did have the same agent, but it just sounds like a whole fucking mess.
Yeah. I don't
not great.
like that. But you know what? If shit's going to go wrong for anybody in any organization and it's going to implode from the inside, I fucking hope it's the Dodgers.
I do too. Besides the Yankees,
So,
but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, as a Giants fan, they're my number 1, but the Yankees are number 2, brother.
Yeah.
Couple things I want to talk about in the NFL. I feel like the Roe v. Wade stuff is going to kind of be an overarching theme in this week's show. If you disagree with us, that sounds like a you problem. But you retweeted Joe Burrow's story. This is our NFL stuff. Sorry, I forgot to mention that we have 2 points that we want to talk to before we inevitably talk about lacrosse for an hour. But Joe Burrow posted a story in support of Roe v. Wade, and Christian Kirk spoke out about it, and some lacrosse players that we'll get into later as well. But it's like, that to me is so cool, and I fucking love Joe Burrow more than I thought I would, and Christian Kirk, because so many people shit on him and his contract, but I love it.
Okay, so because I saw that Joe Burrow story and I like tweeted out the screenshot of it, and like I feel like most of my followers are like aware that I love Joe Burrow, like whatever, but obviously it like gained traction, and like of course this tweet about like a football player is what's gonna fucking go off. So now I have all these people on my bench that I normally never see. But, and I was like, it was like typical, like, you know, like the white guy with glasses in the car, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But then there was like some like women that were like, why are you applauding this? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not even saying that he's like anti whatever. He's just saying like, it has to be specific situation for it. I'm like, no, he's not. Like, can you just like appreciate like I get it's the bare minimum, but I'm like, that's all we're getting from anyone. So
it's a lot more than we've gotten from the guys who are posting pictures of them fucking playing golf and drinking and out on the boat, who, one, I know, what makes me the most mad is the lack of people speaking out who I know have bought Plan B, told girls to take Plan B and not participated in it. Like, refuse to wear a condom or always make excuses. And it's like, I will fucking take the bare minimum. If you have that kind of platform and you're saying something, good for you, because that's not easy and you're going to get backlash on a greater scale than anybody else.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. I'm like, all right, go like wave your pitchforks at someone else that like actually like, I'm like, he's doing something good here. I don't know what is wrong with those people that they have to bitch about every little fucking thing.
Well, yeah, and it's like those are the people who are like, well, like he's saying that he's in the middle. It's like, okay, well, so are you. So shut the fuck up. Why do you care?
Yeah, not everyone has the same opinions, but he at least is in the opinion of, okay, yeah, human fucking rights. I don't know.
Yeah, and the majority of the country.
Like, piss off.
Yeah, like I love how people like, I don't know. I don't want to make this a political show. If you want us to go on a political rant sometime, please let us know, because Sarah and I are really good at it, but in private.
Yeah, I was saying no political rants on here.
Just Sarah and I are like communicating on a platform at all points of the day. It just depends on the platform. Only a football thing I want to mention. Obviously, it's just like a slower time of year for football talk. Otherwise, we'd have more to say. But Arch Manning commit to Texas, because I saw his best friend at school now commit to Texas. And I think that is what pushed him there potentially. So that's kind of cool. Like, it's not until 2023, I believe, but like, I don't know. If Texas thinks a Manning's going to save their program, fucking go for it.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's exciting for Texas football. I support that university because it's in Austin, and Austin is just not like the rest of Texas. So yeah, I don't know. That's cool. I haven't watched his film. I haven't watched his tape. I've never seen him play. I don't know if he's the biggest prospect coming out of this class because he deserves it or because it's his last name or both. So I don't know. It's just big news in the football world. So I wanted to talk about it and give my thoughts on it. I think it's cool. I also think it's cool that kids can like make money now with NIL stuff. So like, even if he goes to Texas and he sucks or something happens, like he can at least make some money, which is dope. Not that he needs it, but like, fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
We are cruising this week. Yeah.
I know. I was just thinking, like, we're going really fast. This is new for us.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if you have an opinion, tweet us and let us know. But like, do people like long shows? Do people like short shows? Like, I don't know.
I feel like we're going at a good pace right now.
Yeah. So PLL stuff, week 5 preview. I put it in our notes. I figure we can just kind of recap as we preview. I'm gonna pull up the PLL app just because I actually really like the PLL app.
Oh, it's so especially for the schedule.
The schedule, yes, the schedule and the standings. I will pull up through the app constantly. It is Friday, Saturday this week, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Friday we have Archers versus Redwoods and Atlas versus Chrome. The Archers Redwoods game, dude, I feel like the Woods are freaking due for one.
I was on the PLL betting show yesterday, and I said I think the Redwoods are going to win this game. I know the Archers offense, like Will Manny's been insane. You know, they're doing all this without Grant Amen. You have Tom Schreiber, all these guys, and everything just seems to be going well for their offense in specific. And obviously in the cage for the Redwoods, I feel like Tim Troutner is not off to the start he was looking for. And I do think it's unfortunate he's running to the Archers right now. But at the same time, I think we said the same thing last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. The Redwoods like play so emotionally. I feel like they're very emotional driven. So they had that frustration. You know, they're coming off again, another 1-goal loss, this time to the Whip Snakes, who's their big rival. And like you said, they're just kind of due for one. And I think this is a must win for them, which sounds insane, seeing as it's week 5, but I think it is. And I feel like even against this like crazy Archers offense, they have everything on paper to make it work.
I think what's going to be the difference for the Woods this week, I do agree with you that I think that they're going to win this game. But for me, when I'm sitting here watching the game, I don't see the 2-point scoring from the Woods that I know they're capable of. Like, they have really good 2-point scoring. I think the best in the league, in my opinion. And it's like, I just don't think that they've utilized that as well. I was just looking at the stats, and it's like they're averaging 9 a game. And I think they have maybe 1 or 2 2-point goals in the season. So I'm like, if they can get that going, I feel like that's going to, 1, turn their season around potentially, but 2, help them win this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know I have the like actual like advanced stats for those somewhere on my computer, but I agree with you. I think they're the most capable of those 2-point goals, especially given the guys that they have running out of the box. And not to say like they're midfielders or like slacking or anything, because they're definitely doing their job there and at least trying their best. But yeah, I just think it's been such a weird start for them that no one's really seen. And I think I understand why Redwoods fans would be worried, because you're not used to seeing this from them. And then also it's tough because I think TD Erlin's off to kind of not the start he was looking for either. And we know how dominant he can be at the face-off. And I think this could be a good bounce back game, especially for him.
Yeah, I was just looking at the face-off percentages. I've thought that about TD so far this season too. And I think that it's been talked about a lot on the broadcast as well. But the Archers face-off doesn't impress me really. So it's like, I think that if they can get 2-point scoring going and then dominate the face-off, like I like them in this matchup actually.
Yeah, no, again, on paper, even up against this crazy Archers offense that everyone's afraid of, and understandably so, I think that they're fully capable of winning this game.
Yeah, agree. Chrome Atlas is the 9:45 game. I think the Chrome are going to lose this week. It's time. And the Atlas, if they're going to lose to a team, I think are the ones that are capable of beating them.
Okay, yeah. I literally said the same thing yesterday. I was like, there's no team that I think is going to have a perfect record, and the Chrome's going to lose at one point or another. I think this is going to be that game. Obviously, you could probably flip a coin, and it's going to go either way in this matchup, given how much success both these teams have had. And like just looking again at those rosters and at all the success they've already had in just 4 weeks. But yeah, I think this one's going to the Atlas. Maybe it will be a really close game, or maybe it will just be like an off night for the Chrome. I don't know. That's just how I kind of see it. I think I agree with you. It's going to be their first loss.
I think we're big fans of the face-off around here. We talk about it quite a bit. This is, I think, the best face-off matchup we're going to get this season between Connor Farrell and Trevor Baptiste. Like, if I want to watch two dudes go at it on the face-off, that's it. Like, even if the Chrome lose, like, I'm okay with them losing to this team as well. Like, I like this team. I like their players. I think they're good. If it's not going to be the Chrome to win a championship, go Jeff Teat. So, like, I think the Chrome are going to lose, but I am most excited about this game for the face-off.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Trevor Baptiste is making such a good case for himself as like an MVP contender, not just like face-off man of the year, straight up MVP contender. Like, because it's not like he just takes the face-off and runs off the field. Like, he's scoring goals himself. He's the catalyst of that offense. It starts with him. Even if he doesn't win a face-off, which is rare, like he went 86% last weekend, he's able to get in there and like kind of get under the other team's skin right at the midfield and then just help push the ball into transition. And I don't know, I just think he's far and away the best face-off guy in the league right now. It's not even a question.
Yeah, and I think it's like offensively kind of the matchup of the young guys, you know, like Jeff Teat, Nick Turn, and Wisnauskas. Like, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch too. Like, it's young, exciting, explosive talent. And I'm excited about that. Like, I don't know, like this matchup just makes me excited. Like, I hate that this is the late matchup.
I know it is a late game, but I will say, I said yes, or I didn't even say yesterday. I forget who I was talking to. I'm like, there's so many young guys in this matchup, but I feel like it's going to be Eric Law who's going to just like go off and like steal the show for the Atlas, because he does have the tendency to do that. He's so consistent. Like, we talk so much about, Jeff T, Chris Gray, like all these guys on Atlas attack, but I'm like, Eric Law has been there since day one. He is not slowing down anytime soon. I would love to see him be the one that just takes over this game for them.
Okay. Obviously we're going to make our picks for who we're taking, but I need to find a notepad because I think that we should make a bet on the over-under of how many times they talk about the fact that Connor Farrell drinks milk.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the broadcast, but the other day I was just like, all right, it's been 10 minutes. We're talking about 2% milk. We're talking about whole milk. I'm like, we get it.
They even had the sideline reporter in on it. Like she was talking about like oat milk. And I was like, why are we talking about this so much? It was like a 2-minute segment. Like, we get it. He drinks fucking milk like crazy in this economy.
Imagine one day he's just like, I don't drink milk anymore. Shut up about it.
What if he's just like, yeah, I switched to oat?
The world would just like collapse.
Okay, this is so off topic, and we've been bragging about how quickly we're getting through this show, but one of my friends in college was an offensive lineman. Well, most of my friends were offensive linemen in college because like I hang out with weird athletes, not like cool ones. But we made him do the gallon challenge. Do you know what the Das Boot is? Like the beer boot?
Yes. We
made him do the gallon challenge out of the boot, and he beat it. Ew. I have videos as soon as the clock was over of him running outside and like projectile hurling milk across the yard. So I've never had the desire to drink milk like that. But okay, let's make the line 4.5.
Okay, I like that.
Are you over or under?
Over.
All right, I'm gonna take the under.
I'm going over just because it is such a big face-off battle, so I feel like they're going to be talking about that a lot. So his name's going to come up a lot, and they're like, "Oh, Milkman."
I like it. All right, Chaos Cannons. This is, dude, why couldn't they make this the Friday game? Like, we love Andy Towers. We really do. But it's like, I don't know. Why is the Saturday primetime matchup the two worst teams in the league?
Oh.
You can go off, Queen. You are valid.
I'm biased, obviously, but I really did want to take the Cannons in this matchup. And I was talking about this yesterday, but I'm like, one, we just had Andy Towers on. I cannot pick against Andy Towers. Two, we were like, oh, they can't go 0-4. And now I'm like, oh, they can't go 0-5. I really don't think they go 0-5 just because, one, Blaze had 18 on him last weekend. There is no fucking way he is letting that shit ever happen again. So I'm expecting a big rebound game from him. And a rebound game from Blaze is just like, walk and the Josh fuck Byrne. Out. Well, that's what my other point was. I was like, okay, well, that was, a lot of those guys were playing with each other already still in Buffalo. But that was the first time as a team they've all been together. And you don't have the chemistry instantly, even if, you were playing with each other last year. Like, that was their first time. Like, they're coming right back into it. Like, there were some guys coming from the Bandits or also the Mammoth who, like, took the week off. Like, I need to, like, I'm not ready to get back into it. Whereas Chaos knew, like, they need those guys back in. So they just hopped right in. But I'm like, they still, like, they hadn't had a practice with each other yet. Like, that was their first game under the belt. So now I feel like, all right, we've had that time together again to kind of just gel and get back to it. So that's how I kind of see it going in that sense. But then also on the flip side with the Cannons, Cannons killed me last weekend. I won't lie to you. That was because I'm like, all right, you're up against the best team in the league right now. You had, like, not a commanding lead, but at one point they were up by 5 on them. And that first half especially, I think the Cannons defense looked so good. Like, the best they looked all season. And against, like, a Chrome offense that so many teams have had trouble covering. And, like, they just looked so solid against them. Like, the chemistry was all there. You had a couple new faces in there. Tyson Bell got the long pole for the game too. Like, there was changes made there. And I really liked how they looked. Nick Morocco was so solid in that. And then kind of just like that second half, it feels like with the Cans, their biggest issue is just finishing out games, because by the fourth quarter, I was
just going to say, I think they both do.
Yeah. By the fourth quarter, they just looked exhausted and, like, it just was not the same. And I understand that, but then also their offense, I think, do so well settled in when they're down low, but they need to be better out the box. Like, in transition, they need to clean it up big time there, because they have so much talent in the midfield too, that I think they could easily be producing so much more. You know, Stephen Kelly's been great for them at the face-off stripe. Like, they finally found their guy. And I think this is also another good matchup for them. I know Max Adler isn't in again this weekend. He's out, but I think this is a good face-off battle between those two. And just in general, I think this is clearly a very winnable game for the Cannons, seeing as it was a winnable game for them against the Chrome. Yeah. And I really want them to just get that leg up. But I also feel like the Chaos are just like, we're fucking 0-4. We have our whole team here now. There's no more excuses. Not that God knows Andy Towers was not using that as an excuse, but just like looking at it out like that, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple comments. So, like, I do think so far this season, both teams have had a hard time closing out games, or at least performing in the second half of them. But also, like, for Chaos, there have been, like, it's not like the team was coming back and missed a week. Like, you're coming back and the season's kind of fucking in full swing week 4. Yeah. Like, it's going on. It's happening. Like, you didn't miss a game or two. Like, it's in full swing. And it's hard to go from, it's similar as I feel lacrosse might be to play. Like, it's still 2 different games, really. And it takes a second. And it takes a second to gel with your people. And they're probably fucking exhausted also. But on top of that, like, I'm not nervous for them yet. The Cannons, I am a little bit nervous for. Like, they're just, they don't look how I expected them to look, I guess. I don't
see. For me, I feel like the expectations for the Cannons were so low. Like, everyone was like, no, the Cannons are going to be bottom. Like, I know during training camp, like cannons do not look good. I will say they just added Jonathan Donville, which is fucking huge. And I kind of love that he's playing against the Chaos in his first game as a cannon. But yeah, I think you have so much talent. Like Asher Nolting has looked amazing. I don't think he's getting near enough credit
Yes,
that he should be.
I agree.
Yesterday, they asked me for like a long shot MVP. And like, I don't know, like, oh, Lyle Thompson is kind of slipping in. I'm like, Asher fucking Nolting, because you know what? If the Cannons go on a tear, like they go on a run, I know he's not on a winning team right now, but I'm like Lyle Thompson is out and Asher Nolting stepped up. He's a rookie. Like that, like 2-man game between the two of them, unfucking real. I'm like, this kid, like,
Yeah.
seamless transition into the pros.
For me, it's not that I expected them to be fantastic or anything. It's just I didn't expect them to be making the little mistakes that they have been. For example, that first goal for the Chrome last weekend, like that, like what the fuck was that?
That whole first half, though, because yeah, that was like one of the most cringe turnovers I've ever seen, just because it was like kind of an embarrassing one. Not blaming that boy at all, but I mean, shit happens. But yeah, I think it was like I wrote that the Chrome had 7 turnovers in the first half, and then the Cannons had 6. And really, it didn't settle down with the turnovers in the second half either. It was just kind of a sloppy game, like through and through.
Yeah, like that's what it feels like is missing for me. It's like if you can't do the little things well, you're not going to do the not little things well. So it's like I just feel like the turnovers and that, like on that goal, they just like it just seemed like that kid didn't know where he was or what was happening. And it's like I feel like that's the concern for me, is it's like how are you going to get better if those are the things that you're doing wrong? It's not like you're being outmanned, you're not being outshot, like whatever. Like those things come, but I don't know. Like that's my only concern for them, is that I feel like I just didn't see any progress.
I just think their biggest thing, obviously finishing out games, that's been their biggest issue. I know Sean Quirk said it now a few times, and then just cleaning up in the midfield, because I think if they can clean it up there and capitalize and actually get offensive production from there more often, like right out the box, then I think they're in so much better shape. And I think they have all the talent there to win all these games. Like they almost beat the Chrome. They were winning that game and they let it slip away themselves. I don't think it was really the Chrome winning that game. I think it was the Cannons beating themselves and losing.
Agree. 100% agree. Last game of the week, Whip Snakes, Water Dogs. This is the hardest matchup for me this week because, like, I think the Water Dogs are a lot better than their record says they are, but also, like, the Whips put on a fucking clinic last week.
Well, I mean, the Water Dogs offense looked the best I feel like anyone has. Fucking 18 goals, but the Whip Snakes are just like vintage Whip Snakes right now. Like Kyle Bernlor looks unreal. He's on a different planet in relation to every other goaltender. But maybe it's just because I'm doing a story on one of the Water Dogs players this week. I am rolling with the Water Dogs, which might be a hot take, but this is also the second time these teams have matched up against each other. And the Water Dogs were beating the Whip Snakes that first time around, and they ended up losing in overtime 12-11. But like they were winning that game, and that was when they had such a big injury bug, and they still have decent amount of injuries. Like Jake Withers, that's the big one there. Their face-off guys out. I think Dylan Ward though is going to be back in net for them, which will be big. Not that DeLuca's done a bad job or anything, but obviously he is their premier goaltender there. But I am just going to roll with the Water Dogs because I feel like they've made these like tiny adjustments each week and they're getting better and better each week. And like, even with injuries that have been plaguing them more than anyone else, it seems like every single game they've lost, it was very winnable for them. It was very close. And then you have this dominating 18-9 win over the Chaos, who, they were 0-3 coming into it. But still, that was the first time we saw like all like Chaos, like their typical roster, and they just shut them out like that.
Yeah. Ryan Brown's having a good season. I have had a lot of fun watching him. I think that he's been making some noise and that's been fun. And like, I think that he's definitely going to be a difference maker for them through the stretch. But my like key in this game is Joe Nardella. Like through and through. Like, I think that he's going to be, if he dominates the way that I think he will, I think that that's going to be the difference maker. That being said, I also am going to take the Water Dogs just because I think that they are a lot better than their record says. I don't think that they want to be 1-4. And the Whips are 4-0, you know, like we said earlier, like everyone's due to lose at some point. And I think that this week, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Water Dogs.
Yeah, I agree with you for the face-off. I think, especially given that Jake Withers isn't going to be the one taking the face-off, Joe Nardell is just going to have a fucking clinic. And Ryan Brown, I would say he is the best shooter in this league. I think I said it in my preseason preview of the Water Dogs. I think he's absolutely the best shooter in this league. Just like his creativity, he can shoot from anywhere. Like he can connect with anyone. And I think he's due for a really big game. Not that he hasn't had one, but like just like a really like dominating one. Like they had Connor Kelly last weekend, who was their big offensive producer. And I feel like this is Ryan Brown's game.
Yeah, agree. All right, so we're both taking the Water Dogs. Are you going Archers or Woods?
Woods.
Okay. Atlas Chrome. Are we both taking Atlas?
Yes.
All right. I love that we are probably gonna be straight across the board this week. Chaos Cannons.
Chaos.
Same, and we're both taking the Water Dogs. All right. You know what? We should have started a season-long poll. We should start that now.
What?
To see who gets more games by the end of the season correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll start it now. Why not? And then we obviously have to do our best dress segment.
They did not bring a lot to mine's in my fucking closet. I don't want to go get it.
I'm wearing mine. Okay. I think I have a lot more to say than you do potentially. So
I have like a decent amount. We have like two of the same for our best.
Okay. So my best dress, I have Jules and his name's Nakai Montgomery, correct?
Nakai.
Okay. Nakai Montgomery. They both, like I said, this was going to be an overarching theme this week. They both shout out women's sports. We got some women's lacrosse, and then we have the WNBA. We had a Los Angeles Sparks t-shirt. I will send these to Tyler so he can put them in here.
Perfect.
But yeah, I forgot to type one of my honorable mentions down, but they were my two best dressed of the week, just because I feel like the message and the moment when a lot of other people didn't even bother was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your best dressed?
Okay, so I had three. Two of them was I had Nakai as my overall arching winner, because one, supporting women's sports, but two, he looked cool as fuck. Like that was just a sick. Then I also had Jules as one of mine. And then I had Sean Scanoni. He was wearing a UNC women's champ shirt, and his sister played on that champs team. So I'm like, all right, supporting women's sports and supporting his sister. We love to see it. So
he's our king, okay?
I'm like, he's in the lead right now.
Dude, I kind of want his jersey. Like, I'm obsessed with him. And I'm a Chrome fan, so it's perfect. Like, I'm still rocking the fedora, Sean. So I don't know, like he's a real one. My worst, and I think that this is gonna shock a lot of people, but I have such a firm stance on how I feel about this. Okay, so Sergio Perkovic is my worst dressed of the week for a couple of reasons. One, he was wearing cargo shorts. I don't care what kind of cargos they are. I don't care that they're green. I am anti-cargo short. They are not back yet. Like, they have not come back around. And two, I feel like there's a way to make navy and black work, but this was not it. And usually he's so well dressed, so I don't feel bad being like, okay, I didn't get it. Like I don't get it. So I don't feel bad ragging on him because he's usually very fashionable, yes. But this just was not giving for me.
Okay. I mean, my worst dress was just like, I literally wrote like everyone else, basically. It was just a boring week. I do have some honorable mentions, but overall, it's pretty boring.
Yes, I had the entire... Okay, so I'm also scrolling through these pictures now. TD Arlen, this was not giving for me. Like, they posted it and they were like, oh, he must have been watching Top Gun. And literally, he's just in aviators and a gray t-shirt with gray Nikes.
In his defense, that's what like everyone else is wearing. It's just like a plain t-shirt
Yes.
and like pants, and I'm like, all right, that's
But
fine.
it's like,
I guess,
how did this get the retweet? Like, he's just in aviators. I don't know. I love T. Yerlin. I think he's so cute. I think he's so funny, but like, my job is to roast your fashion, so I'm gonna. My honorable mention, I have all of the chrome only because I am so confused by just how I can't decide if it's like a fashion statement that they don't give a fuck or they're just so like I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's either one side or the other of the I don't give a fuck like spectrum. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And then Miles Jones, but like he just looks cool in everything.
He looks
like,
cool every single week.
Yeah, like this isn't like my favorite outfit, but it's a good fit. You know what I mean? Like he, even on his bad days, like he slays.
Oh, I'm convinced he could never look bad.
I also just have nothing negative to say about him whatsoever.
Zero.
Who are your honorable mentions? Oh, okay. I want to say Jared Newman's helmet was also an honorable mention.
Yeah, I would say that was my first honorable mention there. And then I did want to give an honorable mention just because I know most of the guys do when they go back to like where they're like playing, and I know you're laughing. I just like
just read your notes.
I'm not gonna say out loud what I want.
No.
I like that.
And I was like, is she actually gonna say this? And then you put that you weren't going to, and I was like, oh, thank God.
I just want to say I like how a lot of the Maryland guys like rep like ride or die that they're Terps. They're all wearing it. I love to see it. Bubba Fairman's one. He was wearing it. He also had the Orioles hat, which I was a fan of. Brian Phipps, a bunch of those guys, all like Maryland guys, are all repping it. So love to see it. But yeah, special shout out to Bubba.
I am taking this hat off now. That was us talking fashion.
I wish you guys could see the notes so bad, but you can't.
Oh God. Anyways, I think the part of the show everyone's waiting for is for our Stanley Cup recap and for us to talk about what's going on with the Bruins. Stanley Cup recap. I think you had the Avs in 6, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the thing is, and I think that we talked about this when this series started, was that I feel like the national media, aka not us, was very much like Bolts, the goaltending, 3-peat, like they're just blah, blah, blah. And I think that a lot of people who are young and know what like Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar are capable of are just like when you I've said it, when you have defensive scoring to add in, like I don't give a fuck about your goalie. Like I think a lot of young people were all Avs from the start, and it's like I didn't count the Bolts out. They're 2-time champions. How do you be like, hey, like it's not that they couldn't go to 7, but it's like I think a lot of young people were very confident that this was not going to go to a game 7.
Yeah, like obviously Bolts have the best like goaltending around like consistently now at this point. But either way, at the end of the day, you got beat by Darcy Kemper.
You got beat by motherfucking Darcy Kemper. That was like all they talked about the first 2 games on the broadcast. And then I think someone, or they just realized that they should probably shut the fuck up about it because it got embarrassing there for a minute.
Good for Darcy Kemper because they were talking so much shit about him. And so he's not the best goaltender in that matchup. Fucking obviously, no one is going to be, beside maybe like Igor Shesterkin, which we already saw that matchup. And it was a very good matchup goaltending wise. Mm-hmm. But regardless, at the end of the day, Darcy Kemper is the one lifting up the cup this year. So fuck you all.
Yeah, and I'm so happy because 1, good for Denver. Mm-hmm. 2, I'm a Floridian saying fuck Florida and fuck Tampa Bay. Like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm so sick of it. I feel like everyone who is not a bandwagon Bolts fan or isn't from Florida is like, yeah, thank God.
They need to be humbled. And that's coming from me who's lived in New England my entire life. They need to be humbled.
Yeah, that is rich. But it's also like, it's not just like Tampa Bay Lightning fans who need to be humbled. It's all of Tampa. Like, you guys have had the Bucks success. You've had the Bolts success. You've had the fucking Rays making it really far in the playoffs in the postseason. Like, shut up. All of you shut the fuck up for half an hour. And on top of that, it's like living in New England and all of the like Tom Brady bandwagoner Bolts fans who are just like, well, Tampa Bay, blah, blah, Tom Brady, Gronk. Shut up, all of you. Shut up. I'm so happy. I literally, after Roe was overturned and I thought for a minute that was going to go to a game 7, I was like, I emotionally cannot handle this right now.
Yeah, I'm glad they closed it out in 6 games, because if it went to 7, I don't know if I would have bet against Tampa in that.
No, you can't bet against Tampa in a game 7, especially because the Avs hadn't been put in that situation the entire postseason. Yeah. But also, I don't know if I could have watched the game because I would have been so anxious that I would like shake and throw up the entire time.
Fair.
Like, could not have handled it. Yeah, like we've talked about this series the entire time. None of us are shocked. I feel like our comments are still the same. They've been the same since this series started. Fuck the Bolts, and that's that. Big 2 weeks since we've recorded a show for the Bruins and Bruins fans. I feel like it is only fair for you to air it out start to finish. Also, right. I am one of those rat bastards who thought Bergeron was going to leave.
I would say I'm going to start off with my positive of all this Bruins. Just because Patrice Bergeron is back, and I did write our notes, fuck all you rat bastards who told me he wasn't going to come back. You don't get to be happy like I do. Because as soon as they lost, everyone was like, oh, Patrice is gone, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, shut up. Every single one of you, shut the fuck up. I don't think he's done. Like, that can't be it. And they're like, just accept it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, there were so many, I think it was Tampa fans, actually. They're like, well, you could kiss Bergeron goodbye. And God knows if you've ever listened to the show, you've heard me say this. Patrice Bergeron is my all-time favorite athlete ever. So the day he does retire is going to be like, someone send someone to watch me, because I will not be well that day for a while. But yeah, once I saw that, I was like, fuck all of you pretending to celebrate. I'm like, you immediately were like, he's too old, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck you. Okay. This is mine. And he's coming back, and I don't really know. To be honest, I don't know why he would want to come back right now. It's not an ideal situation he's walking into, but that's what captains do. So fuck you all.
Yeah, see, I have a couple thoughts before we get into the coaching stuff, but it's like the reason that I didn't think he was going to be coming back, especially after the Bruce Cassidy shit, was I was like, the Bruins are going to Bruins and add some bullshit coach or whatever, and he's not going to come back because of it. But then, like, something makes me think that, like, they've known who they've been targeting for quite some time, which I'll also let you get into in a second, that may have contributed him to coming back. Because, like, if he doesn't like who the head coach is going to be, why would he have come back?
Yeah, the whole head coach thing is a shit show. I'm like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, either they're going to make the announcement today or they're going to go into the draft with no head coach, it feels like.
Yeah, so, like, obviously there's been some leaks of potential candidates and interviews and stuff like that. It's like, are you stressed about the draft? Are you stressed about the head coach? Like, what is your like priority focus right now as a Bruins fan?
Right now, the top for me is just coaching. Obviously, all week the narrative has been David Quinn. I'm the first to say no, David Quinn, please don't fucking do that. Like, all these people bitching about like, oh, Cassie didn't know how to like help these young guys, like all this stuff. I'm like, look at what David Quinn did with the Rangers and why Rangers fans were so excited to get him the fuck out. Why the hell in any way, shape, or form do you think David Quinn is going to help this team with their youth? And also, that is not an upgrade from Bruce Cassidy to Quinn. I don't think there's very many coaches out there available that are an upgrade for the most part, I think we'll all like agree, unless they like win the cup this year or within the next couple years, I think we're going to look back at this as that was a really bad mistake by the Bruins front office to let Bruce Cassidy go and be that scapegoat. But then there was the rumor today that's coming out that's gaining a lot of traction that Jim Montgomery's like kind of the front runner right now instead of Quinn. I would be very happy with that. I think that's a good choice. I just hope that's where it ends up going.
I think it speaks volumes to how quickly Bruce Cassidy found a job in comparison to how quickly the Bruins have been able to make a decision. Because at the end of the day, it's the same decision. If you're confident in someone and you want someone like Vegas did, you fucking get it done. Whereas in this situation, it's like there have been rumors, multiple now. And it's like, if you guys really have a guy or you're confident in a guy and a guy is confident in you, I feel like this would be done, because this is, like you said, is getting really fucking close to the draft. And it's like, it's hard to all be on the same page and all have the same opinions of where you want to go with a team if you're rushing it and everything is a fucking dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, Ty Anderson wrote an article this week that I really liked his point when all this stuff was like, oh, it's like Quinn's the front runner, like he's gone the furthest interview-wise. He's like, that's just a lazy hire by the Bruins. And I fully agree with that. I think it is a lazy hire. It's like, I want to say, yeah, it's an obvious choice for them, but then like it is, because it is such an obvious choice. Like, oh, he coached at BU, like, oh, he has all these ties here. So like, yeah, let's bring back Quinn. No, because then you look at the root of the Bruins' problems these last few years, like just speaking team-wise, not front office-wise, like, and it's the development of those young kids, and bringing in something like that makes zero sense.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really feel bad for fans of Boston teams often, but as someone, and I think I've said this before, like as someone who went through the Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke situation, like I feel a type of sympathy for Bruins fans right now.
Oh, we didn't even mention fucking Don Sweetie's extension.
Oh my God, yeah. Holy shit. I read the comments on that thread.
Fucking post.
That thread, if you need to feel good about yourself or your sports team right now, go read the Instagram comments on Don Sweeney's extension post on Instagram, because even today, this happened, 5-6 days ago that they announced this. It is the most recent post for the Bruins on Instagram. The poor Bruins social media person.
That poor fucking team. They're getting beaten. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's tough.
And it's like, honestly, I actually am really, I'm going to shout out Boston fans for a second, especially Bruins fans. Like, I don't think it's often that you hear Boston fans outside of Red Sox fans criticize the team or the organization, because as we've seen with the Patriots, like they've made some really fucking dumb decisions as far as the draft and coaching and who's in charge of what in what systems for coaching recently. And people are still, well, in Bill we trust, but it's like Bruins fans are very much like questioning this organization right now, and I applaud that.
I feel like Bruins fans are always ready to have the pitchforks out, because there was just so many years where they weren't good, then they finally got good, and like you had all this, like you had that core for so long, but you only got one championship out of it, which sounds insane to say, like, oh, I only got one Stanley Cup. But when you look at the roster they had from that time, you know, you had this like perfect core of like Bergeron, Marchand, Krejci, Rask, and that's all you could get out of it. It's frustrating, especially when you're able to trace it back to, okay, well, yeah, you got like a McAvoy, a Pasta out of it and stuff. But other than that, like the youth development just hasn't been there for years now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 1000%. And we've talked about that disaster of a draft a million times on this show. And I will say, I sort of want to justify my Red Sox take for a second, just because Red Sox fans weren't really questioning anything until the Mookie situation.
The Red Sox are just, I feel like constantly, even when they're so good, there's so many things about that organization, because you went from Dombrowski, who was like money happy, like we'll spend anything, win now, and it worked out, it did, but now you go from that and everyone complaining like, oh, we're spending too much money on all this, and to Heimblum, like cheap ass fucking Heimblum, like fuck you.
Yeah. So And I do honestly think that had that situation not happened and if Haim wasn't so young and whatever, even though we feel the same way about Haim, we've said it a million times, like I think that people would probably look at it differently. So didn't really mean to talk about baseball because we're anti-baseball. But as we start to close out the show, I want to talk about our pop culture shit of the week. I obviously we have to have our Kardashian appearance every week. So like,
oh, I have one in our tea party too. So
oh yes. What the fuck is going on with Travis Barker? Like, if you haven't heard about this, Travis Barker is married to Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
Married. That's weird to say because, but he was rushed to the hospital the other night and then moved hospitals and tweeted, "God, please save me." And his daughter was like asking people for prayers and stuff like that. But then his son last night was seen out with Dixie D'Amelio. So I'm like,
I feel like didn't someone say it's like pancreatitis or something?
If he had I'm not gonna judge anyone. I'm not gonna like neglect his fear in this situation or anything like that, unless it was like life threatening. But would you be like, "God, please save me"? If you like were, I mean, I don't know. Like, is that very serious? Is pancreatitis like?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know anything about it. I feel like I just saw something about that, and I did like zero research into it. I was like, hopefully he's okay. I don't know. I don't know.
I've read all of the like. I've read all the Daily Mail articles that are like keeping people up to date, but it's like I'm not like just Travis Barker on pancreatitis. Is pancreatitis life threatening? Wait, now I need to know though, because what if I get pancreatitis?
I'm not even positive that's what he had. I feel like I just saw it somewhere, but because again, I'm like,
it says 4 out of 5 cases of pancreatitis improve quickly and don't cause any serious problems. So if he had pancreatitis and like it wasn't life threatening and he tweeted that, I am going to judge him just a little. Like just a little bit. But I don't want to like make fun of someone's medical situation or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying like that sounds very Kardashian, you know?
Yeah.
What is your pop culture shit?
So I have 2 things. Both have to do with movies. One, I know like this is just for a couple scenes that's going on in Venice Beach that they're filming the Barbie movie, but I feel like I know everything that has happened in those couple scenes. I don't understand how they're just letting people take pictures of videos of everything. Like you can literally hear the dialogue in some of them, which has just been wild. But Margot Robbie looks fucking amazing. She is perfect. She always does, but like she's the perfect Barbie.
I would love to see her play like, I mean, I know that she's been Harley Quinn, but when I say like a grimy role, like I want to see her. And I think that and I'm going to say this not because I think she's hot or whatever, but I think that she is one of the most diverse actresses of our generation because she's able to do so many different roles. But I want to see her do like Winona Ryder in Stranger Things, like some type of like gritty, like either like a drug addict or a mom who's lost their child, like some sort of grimy role. Like I feel like that would solidify her greatness as an actress in our generation. But it's like, I love her for that, but also it's so impossible for her to not look perfect in this movie because she is perfect and she is Barbie.
Yeah, I'm just like obsessed with her and obsessed with everything that we've seen, like every outfit. She's amazing. But so then my other pop culture thing, I don't know. I haven't seen this movie yet. Austin Butler as Elvis. I don't know if you've seen all the videos about how like in character he got into it.
Okay,
and everyone who's seen the movie said that it's paid off. Like it was like he did it very well. And I do want to see the movie. I know it's like 3 hours though, which is kind of like that's asking a lot of me. But
it's on like Netflix or something, right?
No, it's in theaters.
Oh, I thought someone said it was like free to stream somewhere.
I don't think so. I've seen like my sister saw in theaters last night.
Wait, I kind of want to go see it.
I'm just like, I'm not big on super long movies. And
I think I might go see it. Like, I kind of want to.
I do want to see it. Everyone said that he does a really good job in it. And considering the amount of preparation and dedication he's had to that role, and I know that's not like crazy for actors to do. We've seen it all the time. They get so into characters sometimes that it's like, very mentally affecting them.
Yeah.
But the way
As far as
he,
like method acting.
yeah, the way he's like been acting on like talk shows and stuff, like still in character with that Elvis voice, I'm just like, all right, pump the brakes
I
a
haven't
bit. But I
seen
guess it
that.
paid
I feel
off.
like I need to.
It's wild. I'll send if I come up across one because they were like all over my TikTok for a while. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like at the Met Gala, he was talking like he was Elvis. I was like, please.
I need to see that actually. Like that kind of, I don't know. See, but I'm one of those people like I don't find Ryan Gosling or Austin Butler attractive.
I thought Ryan Gosling, like in like The Notebook and Remember the Titans, granted, he's like Remember the Titans for like fucking like 10 minutes. I thought he was really handsome then when he was a lot younger, but I've never been like he's the hottest man alive, like blah blah blah. And as he's gotten older, I'm just like he's a good looking dude. Don't get me wrong, but
Are you like into
very
Austin?
Austin Butler, not really.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I think
like
again another good looking dude, just very conventionally attractive.
I just don't think I don't find either of them attractive, and it might be because we look like we could be siblings, but like I just don't think either of them, like girls freak out about both of them. And I'm like, honestly, if either of them hit on me at a bar, and I'm not just saying this, and they weren't like who they are, I would be like, I'm good.
See, I think they're good looking guys. There's like, if they were just any other guy on the street, I'd be like, oh yeah, good looking guy, and go on about my day. I wouldn't really.
Yeah, I don't know. They just don't do it for me. Tea party segments. Oh, you do have Kardashian tea. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your tea party?
Well, I don't even know if this is true now. I saw Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker broke up, but then someone was like, no, they didn't. But then someone else was like, well, they might get back together. And again, it's one of those things that I saw all this different stuff and I never followed up on any of it, like say more research. I feel like they're still together.
I saw them at Travis and Courtney's wedding together.
Well, so this report came out like last week.
Yeah. So it's like I saw them together then, which was like maybe a month ago, but then I saw like on Daily Mail or something like that they broke up because like the relationship wasn't progressing, which like I could totally see. But also like I don't know, they just don't make sense to me. Like I understand why her and ASAP Rocky were together, but I'm way more pro ASAP and Rihanna. But like they don't make sense as a couple for me. So
see, I think out of all, because God knows the Kardashians, Jenners love their NBA players. And I think Kendall and Devin are a very good looking couple. And they seem to be kind of on the same wavelength. Like, yeah, like Kendall's still like a Jenner Kardashian, but I feel like she's more laid back. I don't want to say laid back, but like not as in the spotlight. And I feel like that kind of fits well with Devin Booker. Plus, they're both very stylish. I mean, I don't know anything about their relationship like in depth. I feel like that's like one of the only Kardashian couples we've seen that you really don't know that much about, like behind the scenes. So God knows what's going on, but
which I think is healthy. But I have two things to say. One, for our NBA fans, Kevin Durant requested a trade for the Nets today, and he put the Phoenix Suns, which is Devin Booker's team, as his number one destination. Could you imagine the drama if fucking Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker are still together, Chris Paul and Kevin Durant on the fucking Suns together? Just the Kevin Durant and Kendall Jenner drama enough for me is to be like, holy shit, what the fuck? But also, if you see me keep looking over, Manzo is having like a horrible dream. I don't know if you've heard it, but he's like running in his sleep and like super pissed off at something. Poor Bob. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that just is a recipe for disaster regardless. Like, I think it's great that they keep their relationship quiet, and I think that's super healthy, especially when you are in the spotlight. But I just like, I don't know anything about Devin Booker's prior relationships, but it seems like at least with Kendall's prior relationships, like the ones that were longer or whatever, had like a sort of sense of spotlight on them.
Well, remember when her and fucking Harry Styles dated? I'm like, what the hell are those two talking about?
She lost her virginity to him.
She did?
She said that publicly, yeah.
I just like can't even see those two having a full conversation. I understand I'm like a diehard Harry Styles, so I'm gonna be like, I just feel like they're such different people and like the way he puts on who he is and the way like she's a Jenner Kardashian, the thought of those two interacting like still blows my mind.
Can we talk about the idea of losing your virginity to Harry Styles?
I would tell everyone I meet that. That would be the first thing. I don't care if it's a fucking job interview or I'm at like a funeral or something. I'd be like, by the way, I lost my virginity to Harry Styles.
I don't care if I'm the coolest, hottest girl alive. If I lost my virginity to Harry Styles and he broke up with me, I would literally never fuck anyone ever again.
Nope,
Ever.
I'll be a reborn virgin. This body will never be touched by anyone.
This is a temple for Harry Styles. Thank you.
Literally.
And Harry Styles
fucking hugged me, I'd be like, no one else ever touched me.
You can never touch me ever again. The last person I touched needs to be Harry Styles.
That's my dying wish.
Yeah. Like, truly, if I die tomorrow, I need you to tweet her last wish was to be touched by Harry Styles.
Someone fly him out here, let him like bless the body.
Just poke my dead body.
You don't even have to do it, like just like give it a little slap or something. I don't give a fuck.
It's a consensual slap at that point, you know? This is publicly consensual. Imagine Harry Styles just seeing my dead body and smacking me in the face.
He punches you.
This has gone off the rails so fast.
This got dark. Okay.
Okay, wait. This is my last dark comment. Have you seen on TikTok the video of the guy whose family threw him a funeral, but like took his dead body and propped it up in the corner in the club? Incredible. And when I tell you I want a party for my funeral, that's what I mean. Y'all have to watch my dead body rave. My tea party segment is also kind of a downer. Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to only 20 years in prison for trafficking minors. But the thing that pisses me off is that the list of people she sex trafficked these minors to is not public. That is tea. Like, okay, well, someone's going to jail for sex trafficking minors to people. Who the fuck were they sex trafficked to? And why are the elite protecting the elite? Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah, I just think it's, like you said, another classic case of just seeing once you're rich and powerful, there's really very few things that can ever bring you down. And she's a scapegoat in this. Obviously, she played a big role in it. But yeah, still somehow all these, I'm assuming men, maybe some women, I don't fucking know, just get away with it, go on with their lives, and they're billions of fucking dollars in power.
Yep. And the thing is that she will live longer than 20 years. She's going to be in solitary confinement because she is a high-profile case.
Because she is.
And she's going to get out in 20 years and be able to live life. And I want to watch that bitch rot in prison. Also, where is she going to be in jail? Because she was caught in New Hampshire, but obviously has residency at other places. This was like a really high-profile case. So where is this bitch going to be?
Is it New York?
I don't know. Like, that's my other
I have no
question.
idea.
I hope it's New York. Because that sounds like a way more intense jail, and she deserves that.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, our last segment, tweets of the week. Sarah, have you ever had a Fluffernutter?
Like peanut butter and fluff?
Yes.
In like elementary school.
Because I didn't know that this was like a huge thing in New England. I've never had one, but I found out that it's like a sin that I haven't had one, and I want to try it, but it also scares the shit out of me. And people were judging me hardcore on the internet for living in New England for 4 years and not having one.
I mean, people do love them. I know like people in elementary school love it. I honestly just don't really like marshmallows, so I think I've had like one in my life. I think they're too sweet. I'm not a big fan, but yeah, people do love them, especially like
people here
kids.
Take it so serious.
I don't know people that are regularly eating them over the age of like 12 though. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but
hold on. You want to know how insane this is? I tweeted about this. And the amount of replies that I had was kind of insane. So I asked if people here were really like die hard about it. 92 replies of people being like, how have you never had one? Oh my God, try this. Oh my God, that's a sin. 92 comments.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm never around kids, but I can't even tell you the last time I saw a fucking peanut butter fluff.
I've never even seen it on a menu somewhere. I'm like, okay, where can I try this without buying an entire container of fluff that I'm inevitably going to throw away?
Well, yeah, it's not like they're at restaurants or anything. Like something you'd bring for your school lunch or like eat by the pool or something at like summer camp.
Yeah, so I'm like, I will try it, but like, I don't want to buy a whole thing of fluff. Like that just seems wasteful. But,
yeah, like I also just don't
know.
like marshmallows, so I don't like fluff.
Yeah, like people were like freaking out about this. So that had to be my tweet of the week. What is yours?
So I have two. My first one is I ended up blocking him because he sent me another one, but I was getting this weird DM request.
Can you play it?
Yeah, I think I still have the first recording. So this guy,
I saw this on Sarah's Snapchat story.
And like, again, I've said so many times, I never look at my Instagram DM requests and then I see shit like this. Like, yeah, that's fucking why. Like, what the fuck is this? Where is it? I
almost screen recorded your story because I wanted to keep it.
Where is it? Okay, yeah. So yeah, perfect. It's this account, Marty Rosen, only following one person, has 0 followers, private account. Their picture is Donald Trump. They sent me a voice recording on Instagram. Let's see if it plays. I want to see your pussy. Which is charming.
If you couldn't hear it, because I barely could, it says, I want to see your pussy, you bitch.
And then I got one last night from them, which is finally, I'm like, okay, this has gone out of hand because it kind of freaks me out. The voice is kind of scary.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's super fucking creepy. And it was just the same voice. It's like, you bitch.
You
so
bitch.
I was like, all right, block, report, whatever. But what's scary is I got both of them at like 3 a.m. And I'm like, why? They never even requested to follow me or anything. And they're only following one person. So I'm like, I'm guessing this is some burner.
But also, why are you, if that's your burner, why are you sending videos saying, I want to see your pussy, you, and he doesn't even say bitch, he calls her a beach each time.
It's like
why?
Accent.
You
bitch.
You bitch.
But because I was awake actually the first time I got the first one and I saw it at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, whatever this is, if I listen to it now, I'm going to scare myself no matter what it says. I'm not going to sleep. I'm like, I'll listen to it tomorrow morning. And I listened to it at like 9 a.m. I was like, all right, not as scary as I thought it was going to be, but very glad I know it was at 2 a.m.
Dude, people on the internet are so scary. Like, so.
Well, so then my next fucking tweet of the week, because as you all know, I have my replies turned off to people that don't follow me or I don't follow back, whatever. So it kind of filters things out. But so it was me. She made that tweet of like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in the full like costume or whatever. It was like, oh, every blonde girl and her boyfriend for Halloween this year. And I responded to it, said, this is the only reason I need a boyfriend. I want to do that costume. It got like 10 replies from like creepy people just being like, oh, blah, 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 you'll be your boyfriend, blah, blah. I got a lot of Twitter DMs. I got a couple Instagram DM requests. I was like, this is fucking why, 1, I have my replies off, and 2, I don't like reply, like speak to anyone. I'm like, this is why I don't interact with you fucking people.
Also, you can't tell
me.
You cannot tell me that the girl in the tan bathing suit in the back is not naked.
Oh yeah, she looks so naked. But yeah, I was like, this is why I don't interact with people anymore. Like, it's not fun. I say one fucking thing, like making a joke, and then I'm like, I get 10 Instagram requests, get called a bitch. There's some guy with like his like, here's my official like boyfriend application. Like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, like I don't give a fuck. I just
know what would
like
be great?
The costumes.
You know, it would be great for content if we had men or women, for me, fuck it, submit an application, and we did like the, you know, people do like the hinge like things in groups or whatever. We just review everyone's application on the show.
Oh,
Also, I have to
just
read
know,
you
I
this
would say
text
I just
message
know
that
anyone that would submit one, I would hate.
Yes, same. Yes. I also have to just read you this text message that I received to me and 20 other women. I'm Lauren Hunter, 31 years old. Are you worried about fake messages or scams? Welcome to our 100% safe adult secret community for hangout and 420 fun. From your kingdom, we already have 5,200 active female members. We have an escort section where you can also get a super horny lady. Do you want to have unlimited adult fun and bang on your bed with our super horny lady? Please visit our site and match right now. Come over and let's have 100% fun, real, no games. We are 100% legal. More importantly, we don't charge. That's why we don't need a user's credit card information. Nice, thank you.
Is that what dating women's like? Like what?
Hello? I don't understand. Like, why? Why? Anyways, closing thoughts. I don't see that you have any, but I do, and I wanted to talk to you about it and everyone that listens to this show. Our 1-year anniversary is, I believe, July 28th. We have a little less than a month to figure out what we want to do for our 1 year. So let us know if you have any ideas, but I wanted to ask you if you have any ideas either, because like that's kind of a big deal. Like we have missed maybe 4 weeks in a year.
Damn, yeah, it is coming up. I need to think about that.
Yeah. I was like looking the other day, I was like, oh my God, like we have been us for almost like we need to celebrate our anniversary somehow.
We do. We need to have an outing.
I know, like we're going to Red Sox Yankees, but like that's not enough.
No, that's not enough.
Like I also want to do something for like our listeners, because I feel like we have like a really like crazy like supportive group of people. So it's like I just don't know, like obviously like we're not huge, but we're not small. Like what do you do to celebrate?
Yeah, if anyone has suggestions, let us know.
Up.
I've got nothing.
Yeah, we've got like 3.5 weeks to figure it out. Like if you guys want to be included, if you guys want to see us do something or go somewhere, let us know. I'm definitely going to clip this and upload it to our socials for suggestions. But that was my closing thought this week. I don't think you have any. Yeah.
Nope.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for listening to Saturdays and Seltzers. We love you guys. Keep on sipping, and we will see y'all next week.